Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 o'clock here in New Vienna, Iowa. That means it's time for another live stream. Hope you guys are doing well. It is Thursday, October 22nd, 2020. And because it's Thursday, that means it is happy hour. Today, I'm going to be drinking Sam Adams Sam 76. I've never had one of these before. It says on the bottle that it's crushable and a refreshing lager. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to pop this open while we're here and say cheers to you guys. Oh, I gotta tell you, this is tasty. This is really good. Wow, I like this a lot. These are kind of like my favorite. It's kind of like a citrusy. Basically, I kind of like stuff that's like kind of weedy with a citrusy flavor to it. Yeah, really nice. It says it has a smooth taste, light citrus aroma, clean lager finish. Perfectly brewed for rooting on your sports teams or chilling with friends. I'd say that's a pretty good description right there. It is 4.7% alcohol by volume. It tells you the calories too, 128 calories. So yeah, this is I could drink I could drink a lot of these. This is good. All right, let's see who else is here today. Alan Harder coming in hard saying Sam Adams is nasty. You know, I think that they make so many flavors. Some of them earlier, a couple happy hours ago, we did the Sam's pumpkin. It wasn't pumpkin, it was like pumpkin or something like that. That was not so good. It tasted like a beer that someone poured like liquid pumpkin flavor in it, and it was nasty. Yeah, I don't know. Nasty is a strong word. If you like pumpkin spice, then it probably was good. But some of them, like this one, this might be my favorite. Sam's Oktoberfest is pretty good, and the winter beer is probably my favorite. This is like summery and pretty tasty. A little bit on the sweet side, but you know, I'm okay with that. It's good. It works for me. Awesome. Stevie76 is here. Jeff Elliott, he said, I'm not sure if we go and join with the beer or take out the endorphin speeds for the first run. I'd say it's a pretty good, it's a win-win either way. He did get in an easy 4 earlier at lunch. So I feel like, you know, an easy 4 might be a perfect time to just take out the endorphins just for a couple of quick strides, you know, short run. Just spin the wheels on them a little bit. That'd be a little fun. And then you can come back for that beer. Roadrunner Reviews is here, says, how's it going? Good to see you again. Let's see. Carlos Sejas is here as well. Good to see you again. Frank LeHoulier says, does anyone actually enjoy running tipsy? I always just feel like I'm going to hurt myself. Philip Bourne says, this is not that bad. Done that occasionally as well. Mild GI issues without accidents the first time, and everything fine since then. I don't think it's something that I've done. I don't do it regularly, but it is something that I've tried before. I don't mind it. It's kind of, I mean, the time that I would say that I've done it is during like Ragnar relays. I don't know if you guys have done those. I'm a fan. I like the format, and it's more like just like a running festival / expo. I prefer the trail ones more than the road ones. The road ones, there's just so much movement going on, and then the beer drinking is also harder. The trail ones, you're in a central location, and everyone just kind of running loops, and it's kind of like a big running festival that, like an expo at a race, but with running in the middle, and you're not worried, am I spending too much time on my feet kind of thing. And there, like, you run a little bit, you eat a little bit, you meet other people, you check out some of the vendor booths, you have some beers, watch some movies. There was like bonfires and stuff. So that was really enjoyable. So like, I think I like it. I think I like it. It's not so bad. Carlos Sejas just said he just came back from a super slow, super hard at the same time run. Problem was it was like 80 degrees for me, and that's way too hot to be running. We had like the opposite problem here in Iowa. It's been storming all day. At least it wasn't too cold. It was like 40 degrees and raining during my run today, and that's probably my least favorite. It was probably closer to 45, and I got really lucky, and I got in a window between like harder bouts of rain. If it was much harder, I think I would have been miserable. But I got out there, and there was some rain, but the winds were pretty intense, and it was like 40, not quite 45 degrees. That was tough. But since then, the weather has only gotten much worse. So I feel lucky in a way. So Yeah, and I think that probably, Carlos, a lot of people would be very envious of your 80 degrees, but it's probably also humid where you are too. So I'm not acclimated to 80 degrees and humid, so that would be a rough day for me as well. Oh, Jeff Elliott had it pretty warm today as well. Philip Bourne's never run tipsy before. Max so far with 2 beers, already have a high risk of quote unquote bad things happening when I'm sober. That's funny. Jeff Elliott says, what I tend to do is come back from an evening run and then drink a beer in the yard while I throw a ball for the dog. That sounds pretty fantastic. I do enjoy, after like a hard run, I enjoy having a beer like immediately after. I don't do it regularly. I mean, I rarely drink beers that much anymore. But I do really enjoy it because it reminds me of like when you have beer at a race, you know? And that's like, I don't know if that's, I mean, maybe someone else can fill me in, but like, because I didn't really combine beer and, I mean, in college we kind of did, we did a chunder run kind of thing, but we didn't really like regularly combine the beer and the drinking together. And I think it's a good pairing. I like it, at least for distance running. For if you're a sprinter or a short distance runner, it's a horrible thing to put together. But for like distance running, it's a lot of fun. And I mean, it just helps with the camaraderie after a run. You're already feeling good anyway, and then you're all just communing over a nice beverage. I think that's really pleasant. And that's, I mean, it's weird that I remember like in my 30s, you know, like me and my running buddy would go to a race, and then it'd be like 9 o'clock in the morning and be like, oh, beer. Okay, we'll have some beer then. And that'd be nice. And so I just enjoyed that. I didn't do a lot of racing in my 20s. So like, I don't know if that was always like a thing or if that just recently became more popular of a thing. But if it's a recent development, I'm very happy for it. If it's something that's been going on for a long time, I wish someone would have told me sooner. Yeah, Frank says, if you run in the evening and are with people who like to drink at dinner, it isn't that unusual to run with a little alcohol. Well, that's true. But I think though, for me, if it was like, if I ate dinner and had like a drink at dinner, there's almost zero chance that I'm going for a run later. I mean, for me, I'm an early riser, so dinner time is pretty close to my bedtime. Like you ever see those diets where they're like, don't eat like 4 hours or more before you go to bed? I'm like counting the math. I'm like, I'd have to eat dinner at like 4:30. Maybe not that early, but you know, I try to be in bed. These days, since the girls are in virtual school, you know, we're not that strict about it. If we can get them like in the beds by like 9:30, and that's when I go to bed when the girls go to bed, so it's like 9:30. It's 9:30 to 10 is usually when I'm in bed. Chris says, happy hour, everyone. Cheers. Well, cheers to that. I need to get one of those. Seth has one, the clinky sound. I need to get a clinky sound. Here's the thing. Oh, you know, I'm thinking about it. I've been thinking about this logo thing, and I think I'm going to pay for like the upgraded version so it looks just a little bit nicer. Because I've been enjoying all this. I even have a light on today because it's so overcast. It was doing the weird thing on my glasses with this window, so I thought maybe some other light would kind of detract from it. But you know, I just have a whole bunch of files on my computer that I like double click every time I want to play like a sound, like the cowbell. But I think I'm actually going to get a board so I can like pound a button and make like a sound like Jim Cramer. Buy, sell. Those are two sounds that I do want to have on it, by the way. So if anyone asks me about a shoe, I could be like, sell. But I think I'm going to get one of those. And I think I'm going to put a cheers, like a clinky sound. I got to put a clinky sound on it too, I think. Cody Jet says, what's going on, Cody? He says, I feel like trail running post-race parties hands down more fun than road races. Craft beers and bonfires normally. I've never experienced that. That sounds amazing. I want to do that. That sounds really cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the bonfire. I like to take naps by bonfires. I also like to take a nap after a race. So like if I combine like, you know, power napping, a post-race beer, and a bonfire, and lots of food, and then like just a whole bunch of other people when it's like safe to have people around, that sounds pretty amazing. That sounds like a good day. Let's see. Daniel M says 3 B's of the post run: beer, bath, and books. I can go with that. Here's the thing for me though, books. As soon like it's probably a testament to how sleep deprived I am. is that like the moment I open up a book, I'll get sleepy. So like my daughter, sometimes she wants me to read to her. And like we've been reading Harry Potter books. We enjoy reading that together. We've gotten far enough along, and like the books get hard. This is my understanding. The books get more difficult in terms of reading comprehension level as the children age through their different years at Hogwarts. And I think we've like surpassed like her reading level in terms of like the level of difficulty of the book. So a lot of the vocabulary is a little bit tough for her. And then mixing like real words and fake words, like magic words, is difficult. So I end up doing a lot of the reading when we read Harry Potter together. And for the most part, like I don't know what I should ask her. I don't know what her takeaway is, like what she's like getting out of it. But like my most prominent memory of it, other than like I enjoy like the snuggle time and like sitting down with her to read, and like the stories are good, so I like that. But one of the more like frequent memories I have is of her going, "Dad, Dad, Dad, Dad," because I'll just read, and after a while I'll just trail off because I've fallen asleep. So I put myself to sleep with reading a book. That's why I don't read, because if I sit down to read, I will fall asleep. I only do audiobooks. So yeah. Tony Yu says, I've been MIA for the past bit, but are you staying in Iowa permanently now? It's still not. What's going on, Tony? Good to see you again. It's not permanent, but we're basically staying here as long as Chicago public schools are virtual, and like Chicago is like blowing up right now. So they're spiking like crazy. Illinois is spiking like crazy. I'll tell you why Illinois is spiking like crazy. Illinois is spiking like crazy because they're behaving like it's as sparsely populated there as it is here. So everyone's like having their tractor pulls, fish fries, going out, football, high school football games, everything like that. Going to other people's houses for bonfires and barbecues, and going inside and watching college football on Saturday, probably Sunday. It was like professional football on Sunday, and the cases are exploding. But Illinois, many of the counties are much more populous than this county is. So I think that's what's going on over there. So I don't know. I was thinking like, oh, it might be time for us to go back soon. And then like now, like Governor Pritzker did a daily press conference, stopped because like things had been somewhat under control. And I think my wife was saying he's just started resuming doing the daily press conference. And now he's like shutting down bars. And now there's like some controversy because the state public health director is giving different guidance than the city public health director, and it's creating some tension. So we'll see. We'll continue to lay low for a little bit. Yeah. All right. Martha says, Kofuzi, we wore the same shoes, even same colorway, 2 mornings in a row so far. Oh, awesome. So you wore the Boston 9s today? Yeah. I'm getting pretty close to I've had the Boston 9 for a while, since it basically first came out. And then I'm kind of like, I'm on a mission, so to speak, to get through some of these shoes that have been in the rotation for a long time. And now that my knee's feeling a lot better, still not 100%, but feeling a lot better, like the things that I'm doing seem to be working. And so feeling a lot better. And now I'm getting some workouts in, getting some more miles in some of these shoes. And like next on my list is the Boston 9. So I think I need like 3 more runs in it, and then I'll get to the 100-mile mark. And so, excuse me, a little burp there. So I ran in those today. Hyperion tempos yesterday. Was it? No. 2 mornings in a row? No, it wouldn't have been 2 mornings in a row then, because yesterday, well, I don't know. It depends on what you're watching. So like what I wore today, what was in today's video is what I wore yesterday. So I don't know, but I hear you. We're on the same wavelength. We're frequently on the same wavelength, you and I, Martha. Let's see what else we got here. Stevie76 says SL20 entry level membership. TJ says Kofuzi membership emojis with definitely a little poop under a corn stalk. That's funny. All right, Mark Jancoco says I run with a friend right after some White Claws and vodka. It was ugly. Oh man, that's funny. When I was in with my buddies, my running buddy and my buddy that lives down in Austin now, we were up in Milwaukee. Yeah, Milwaukee. We've done like a bunch of guy trips, and so it's hard. They're all hazy. so it's hard to remember like which weekend was what. But we were in Milwaukee, and those two love cycling. They're like city riders. They have like, I think they both have multiple bikes. They may also have fixies as well, but they like just love like bike commuting. They just bike everywhere. They're not much like cyclists from like, they're not going to go out and do like a 4-hour ride on a Saturday, but they're always on their bikes. And we went up to Milwaukee for a guys weekend, and they brought a bike for me. And we just, I think I've told you guys about this before, but we spent the evening just like going from like place to eat, drink, and like we would just like go back and forth, not back and forth, but like just hop from place to place, eating and drinking and riding bikes the entire time. It was a lot of fun. It was really fun. And then we got really lost, and I felt like we biked for like over an hour straight, like at the way end of like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. That was, like Mark Jancoco says, ugly. It was ugly, but a lot of fun. Great memories. So fun. Yeah. By the end, I was like, I jumped off the bike. I'm like, there's too many hills. I'm not doing this anymore. I got off the bike. And then my buddy from Austin, not from Austin, in Austin, he's from Michigan. My buddy in Austin, he like basically picked up his bike and my bike and just ran up this last final hill. It was pretty funny. Steven Gersdorf says, I've fallen asleep while running an ultra marathon. Like on your feet, or like you stopped at an aid station, or like just in the middle of the trail, you were just like, I'm just gonna sit here for a second. That's what I want to know. Not really. Hank Aaron says Chicago is fine. Is it? I hope so. I mean, that's what I've been hearing, and then all of a sudden it seemed to have like taken a turn. Yeah. Chris says power napping requires successful activation of the sleeping glutes. Fun. See, Danny J says he's got a full marathon on December 5th. Thinking about doing a half marathon race for a fitness test on November 8th. Any thoughts? My thoughts on that have changed quite a bit over time. And I, used to think that like if you race like anywhere, like even as close as like 2 or 3 weeks, you can race for PR a half marathon and still be like fresh because the half marathon's quote unquote short enough. I kind of felt like you could still go after it for a full marathon. I'm now rethinking that, or maybe that's not great advice for someone of my age. And so, I wouldn't be so sure about doing it like 2 or 3 weeks, but if your full marathon is a month from your half marathon and you're using it as a fitness test and not like racing for a PR, then I think go for it. I think it's a great idea. Then it gives you still another 2 weeks, or maybe 1 or 2 weeks of, I guess you can like recover for half a week to a week, and then maybe get another weekend, get another workout in, and then taper. So I think that's plenty of time. Here's the only thing about that though, because then if that's like 4 weeks away from your, if that's 4 weeks away from your marathon, I guess I'd have to do the math. 4 weeks, or is it 5 weeks? If it's 4 weeks from your marathon, then like where are you putting like your big 20-mile run, like your biggest long run, and do you want to do that on like legs that are recovering? That's the only thing that I wouldn't be, that's the only thing that I would be concerned about. Chris Jones says zombies love people sleeping next to bonfires. That's funny. Today I did, and by the way, that was just my chair. I didn't fart, just to let you guys know. There it is again. You hear it? Am I just hearing that, or are you guys hearing it? Yeah, it's just my chair. But because I was rotating. So this morning, I told you guys that I was going to start watching some of these scary movies. So today I put on Poltergeist, because I was like, I can't just like dive into like Saw 3. Right. I think we need to build up. I've never seen Poltergeist before, so I felt like, I need to go back. And I really enjoyed, I watched the first for like 45 minutes of this movie, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much though, that I was like, I'm going to stop it here. And I think we need to figure out if you guys want to watch that together with me. And by watch together, I'm thinking like, I would love to be able to like put it like right here, and then I could narrate it, but that would get me a copyright strike right away, and deservedly so. So I think what I might try to do is maybe like a Netflix Friday kind of thing, is maybe I'll just start a video and be like, hey, I'm watching Poltergeist from like minute 48 and go. And then if you guys want to watch it at the same time, you can watch it, or you can just listen to me and I'll like narrate. And it'll be kind of like not director's cut, but like commentating on movies that you've probably seen before. Because for whatever reason, I just realized that I've just not seen a lot of movies. I used to have a Netflix subscription when I was single. So I feel like there's no excuse for me to not have seen basically like every movie ever. But I feel like I've seen every movie ever that was available in the Netflix DVD library around like the year 2001. So I've seen like all of those movies. But that outside of that, I haven't. And so I'm thinking maybe this could be a thing that we do. If you guys want to do that with me, let me know what you guys think. Yeah. Oh, Mark Janko, so Netflix party. So this is something that, does it work? Does it work like that? Film Fridays. Terrence, he says, okay. Yeah. Not really. Hank Aaron says Poltergeist is scary. I mean, here's the thing. Watching this, I'm almost 41. As a 40-year-old watching in 2020, this movie from like the 80s, I think it was like 1982, right? It's not scary, you know? So it's really funny. And that's where I feel like there'd be a lot of value in it. Like it's kind of like a weird version of like whenever you see like on YouTuber, like Android fanboy tries an iPhone for the first time. So it's kind of like that, because it's like, how do you not know? How have you not seen Poltergeist before? I haven't. You know, I've never seen E.T. all the way through either. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I've never seen the movie all the way through. So I'm thinking like, you know, we'll do Poltergeist and then we'll kind of like go through it all. And because already there's so many aspects of this movie that just like, whoa. 1982 was a very different time. And you're just like, that's not going to fly anymore. So it's like, you know, so I think it'd be kind of fun. So we'll try it. Steven Gurjo, it'll be like Rocky Horror. We can throw stuff at our video screens. Yeah, we'll try it. Rainrunner says, my friends and I try to hit the play button at the same time on FaceTime and it works mostly. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. I'll have like a phone over here and I'll watch it. I'll put like another earbud like underneath this ear cup so I can hear it. You know, so we'll try it. We'll try it. If it works, we'll do it again. If it doesn't work, you know, constant experimentation. That's the beauty of having 7 days a week of live stream. There's lots of time to experiment and it's fun. So we'll see. We'll try it. We'll do Poltergeist on, I'll remind you guys. Well, I guess it's tomorrow. We'll do Poltergeist, but I'll remind you again. Poltergeist at minute 48. So in case you guys want to get it on Netflix, not Spawn. I wish, wouldn't it be great if Netflix were a sponsor? That'd be fun. Yeah. So yeah. Byron Evans says 4 weeks, talking about the marathon again, is back on track in terms of running talk. Byron Evans says 4 weeks should be fine after a marathon, even with PR, assuming you're actually in shape to run a marathon. You can do the big 20-miler 10 days after and still have another 20 days or so into the marathon. I like that. That works for me. Yeah, that's very sensible. I like where you're going with that, Byron. That's funny. Stevie 76. Don't forget now. 1:15 a.m. Twin Pines Mall. Awesome. This guy TM says, check out Dawn of the Dead 1972. Yeah, so I figure like Christy said, if we Netflix party, I'll wear my quarantine and chill singlet. That sounds awesome. That's awesome. I mean, we'll go from there. I feel like we can do like a movie a week, even though it won't take like the whole time. But like we can kind of get through like a movie. Maybe we'll finish the movie together, or we can just do some of it. I don't know, and then pick another one. So I feel like we could do that. I think it'll be fun. And it says, I started watching Vertigo last night, planning the last part tonight. I started too late last night. Oh, funny. That's so funny. That's my concern too, because like, here's the thing. So I'm here, like one of the movies I was thinking I was watching, I got to watch Children of the Corn at some point because like that's here. But I'm like, I run outside and it's getting darker and darker, and I'm running like needing a headlamp a lot of times, and I'm running through like cornfields or now empty cornfields and stuff. So I'm just like, do I want to do this to myself? Start watching scary movies when it's going to be dark most of the time during my running and like I'm alone. So I don't know. Well, we'll see. This could be a terrible idea. Danny J says, just wait until all movies, including horror, are on Oculus. OMG, Jaws on Oculus. I just got chicken skin. There's a guy that I know. I'd like to call him a friend, but he makes 3D horror movies. Like that's his favorite thing to do. And he says they're really hard because you gotta like do the sound staging of it is really difficult. And he says like, but you use the sound staging so that way it clues people like where to look. So you have to like insert like a creaky floorboard or like an opening door or like a jiggling of something. And he's like, it adds to a lot of potential suspense, but he thinks it's pretty interesting. I'm not hugely into 3D or like virtual reality or even augmented reality all that much. But you know what? What I was thinking is what I would love to be able to have is a heads-up display while I'm running. I know that's like, that's adding in so much technology to running, but like I'd love to be able to see like data like across one of my eyeballs. That'd be kind of fun. Or just watch TV, because then I can watch like, I watch the news, watch Netflix while I'm running on my just easy run. I don't have to be both eyes, just one eye. That's probably a terrible idea, but I would test it out. I'll be a beta tester for that. Shannon says, I don't have the attention span for a movie. Definitely will have no idea what's going on, but at least I'll be with good company. Yeah, I think that it'll be funny enough because like the things that I wanted to talk about while I was talking about like Poltergeist were like some of the sneakers that I saw in the movie, like some of the technology that exists at the time. So it's like a lot of the interest for me is like the nostalgia play of it. So I think it'll still work. I'm hoping it'll still work. So that's like the other thing that I'll have to like kind of check in with everybody too, is like, does this work if you didn't watch the movie? Is it still funny? John James, what's going on? Says, I just hopped on. Question for you. I had to take 4 months off running because of injury. I'm glad to be back, but I'm fat and lazy now. Advice? I would say the same. I would consider it like the same way as like going back to square one kind of. Is for beginners, I usually say run today like you can run tomorrow. So assuming like you're fully back and like you're okay to run every day or nearly every day, get out there and just start building the consistency and the habit again. So that'll take care of the lazy part and eventually will take care of the fat part. So like do that. And if you've been running previously, then I think that you'll find even after 4 months of running, a lot of that will come back relatively quickly. It'll come back quicker to you than it would to come to someone who's completely new to it. So like, don't rush it. You were off for 4 months. That's a while, but you'll get it back fast as long as you can stay consistent and get out there every day. So don't try to overdo it. You're not going to make up 4 months of fitness in a weekend. So, space it out and, keep that perspective on it, but just keep getting out there. And then I think you'll be back up to speed in no time. Remy says, running doc, you must be new here. Yeah, that's yeah, we don't always talk about running here, do we? Johannes says, greetings from Germany. Says, cheers. Well, cheers to you, Johannes. Thanks for tuning in today. Yeah. Rainrunner says, Vertigo is a classic. I don't think I've seen that one. I should watch that one. But I have Vertigo, or I've had it. I mean, like once you have Vertigo, I don't think you ever can say you don't have it. So I think I have it. It's been asymptomatic for a long time. Yeah, Paul Kane's a lot of good comments for Vertigo. Look at that. Steve 76, is Vertigo a Christmas movie? I don't know. I've never seen it, so we'll have to see. Let's see. Remy says, head-up display and cycling helmets is already a thing. Join us. Is it really? Why do you need a heads-up display though? Because the beautiful thing about bikes is you could put your bike computer or your phone like right in front of you, so you could be like on the bike and like the phone is like right here. Do you need the heads-up display? I want one. I want to try it. So, yeah. Here's the thing I was thinking about, Remy, today is though that like with it getting colder here, do most people go inside and do like the indoor trainer? They take their bikes inside and like, I'm sure there's some people that ride all year round, like outside I mean, that's why fat bikes exist, right? But when I'm at a point where I'm not sure that I can even run outside regularly because it's so cold, I don't know how to continue cycling all winter long. So I'm thinking about getting like Trax, TRACX, the one where you could just put like your regular bike on it, but it's still a somewhat smart trainer. So I can use it on Zwift. So I've been looking at some of those lately. So I think I'd like to do that. Martha said, "Who else has read The Lovely Bones?" I didn't see the movie, but doesn't it take place in Iowa or maybe Nebraska, cornfield setting? I'm not sure about that. Does it? Interesting. Yeah, Jeff Elliott says, "Ooh, the SL 20.2. I saw something about that the other day. I was like, what? The SL 20.2 apparently doesn't have a distortion thing. Looks almost like a Kinvara or something. Yeah, I thought I saw some images of that floating around on Instagram. I'll have to look into that further. We'll have to see. I mean, yeah, if it's really changed, it might be time to stock up on some old SL20 stock." Simon Evans says, "Talking to a physio in my running group tonight, me and others said they didn't know how to activate glutes. So he stopped us and has line up and pelvic thrust slowly. A homeowner called the police." No way. Is that really true? Did that happen? That's so funny. What? Why would the homeowner call police? That's really weird. I mean, maybe like if they had kids inside and they're like, what are these perverts doing outside? Maybe. But pelvic thrusts? Oh, like pelvic thrust slowly, like standing pelvic thrust, or like doing like the hip thrust from when you're lying down. I've done that. That definitely feels like I'm activating glutes. The other thing that makes me feel like activating glutes is I saw a video. They were actually talking about IT band, but he talked about one way of making sure you're activating your glute medials is it was like a lateral leg raise, like the Jane Fonda type, but instead of going just like straight like up, go out and back a little bit. And I was like, oh, this is kind of like a little bit of a push off, like when you're ice skating. But that like made me really, oh, I feel that. And then I try to like replicate that feeling. It's almost kind of like you're doing, like while you're lying down on your side, you're pushing off for your stride. And so I think about that and that activity, and that seems to make I feel very different when I'm running. And I feel like that's glutes activation. I could be wrong on that. But Simon, that's a crazy story. Did you guys get did the police come? Did you get stopped and state your business kind of thing? Like, what are you doing around here? That'd be funny. That'd be amazing. Like, what did the cops write down in their report, right? Like, responded to a call, complainant homeowner, described 7 dudes hip thrusting in the front yard, spoke to the ringleader. He's a physiotherapist. Like, what does the report look like? Yeah, crazy. Lewis Cameron says, check out the Chrome extension Teleparty. Yeah, I've thought about they're doing something like that, but then I think we need to not have too much of we have to keep the visual parts out of it for our Netflix party tomorrow, because I don't want to get a copyright strike. So everyone will have to have their own Netflix password or login, and then you can watch it along. I think that's what we'll do. So I won't play any of the sound or anything, but I'll describe what's going on the screen kind of as we go. I mean, and we'll kind of watch it loosely, almost kind of like a Mystery Science Theater kind of thing, where we're basically just talking over the movie a lot, but kind of watching it. That's how I mostly envision it. Ralph Ferraro says, got my SL20s yesterday for $63 on Amazon, running after happy hour. Oh, cool. That is a combination of all the live stream memes or themes that we have here. Awesome. Yeah, Simon Evans says you can get that. It's a glasses with a virtual holographic pacer. I saw that. It's been getting fed to me on my Instagram stories, but that's not quite what I want. I mean, basically, I just want Google Glass to come back. But then again, I'm I don't want to run with that. I mean, I have contacts, so I don't have to run with glasses. I don't even really like to run with sunglasses all that much unless I kind of need to. So that's the only thing I don't like about it. But I think it'd be kind of interesting to have. Frank Lahulier asked, did anyone ever use any of the zombie running apps? Now, I haven't. That sounds like, does it work? That'd be kind of interesting. Because I thought like with the new iPhone, was it with iPhones that they were like advertising like the augmented reality, like the AR, and they had one where it was like an exercise program where like a Tyrannosaurus was chasing you or something like that. I thought there was that. Hey, look at this. Hey, Cicero guy, what's going on, man? Good to see you. He said, finally caught you doing a live stream. That's awesome. Hopefully you're doing well. Cicero guy is someone that I've known for a really long time. He does a lot of Twitch streaming. It's good to see you, man. Hopefully you and your wife are doing well. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, Steven Gersdorf says Google Glasses. Yeah, I want those. I was like upset that they like that product like never like had the chance to get off the ground because people were worried about privacy. Can you imagine that? I mean, that is, yeah, it was a different era, right? Now, like I don't know. Would people still be worried about that if it came out like today? It's like the Snapchat glasses too. Carlos Diaz asking, did you get a nap in today? No, not today. Not today. I actually feel like I got a decent amount of sleep. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, but it was, I think, more restful than usual. Although the dog has been waking up at like about 2:30 in the morning and just like barking. I don't know what's going on. Probably a poltergeist. But he's been barking at like 2:30 in the morning. And I don't know. I let him out of his crate. He drinks some water. I've been letting him go outside. I just open like the front door and I let him go. And then I'm like, if he comes back, he comes back. He usually comes back, and because it's been pretty gross out in the mornings lately. And then I put him back in the crate and he goes to sleep. But he's just been doing it 2 days in a row. And then my in-laws' dog has been doing a similar thing. Starts barking at about 4:15 in the morning. Fortunately for me, I'm already up, so it doesn't bother me. But yeah. But so like, despite all that, I got some decent sleep. My Whoop told me that I was really well recovered, even though it's like you probably could have used more sleep. But it told me I was well recovered. So I don't know if it's a self-fulfilling prophecy or if I was actually well recovered. My Polar said I had good sleep recovery. So I think I got good sleep. Graham Kreka 37, I like that, says, do you think running daily is better than a 4-day-a-week training program for marathon training? I think it depends. I think it depends on where you're coming from and what your body responds to. So kind of two things. First thing is like in terms of where you're coming from. If you're coming from like, this is my first marathon, or like I've been running 5K, 10K, I'm ready to try a marathon, and you've only been running like 3 or 4 days a week, I wouldn't jump to like, let's do 7 days a week. I think it takes a little bit of time to build up to that. So I would not necessarily recommend that. If your body can handle it, then go for it. But it wouldn't be the first thing that I would pick. The other thing to think about is, there's some people that respond well to high mileage. There are some people that respond well to like, I think like it was a Runner's World, right? Published a book that was like, I don't know. Basically, the premise was get fast on the lowest number of miles possible. The idea being like, it's like the opposite of the 80-20 principle. But with this, it's like you don't run a lot of miles, but what you do run, you run hard. And so like they pitch it as like the marathon training plan for busy people, or the marathon training plan for like speedy people, or people that get injured a lot on high mileage. So like that's the other way to look at it too, is like, if you've done high mileage before and it always ends up in injury, then maybe you need a 4-day-a-week training program. So I think the answer is it depends. Sorry. But hopefully that gives you some guidance as to like how to evaluate that. For me, I prefer training plans that have 6 to 7 days a week of something. And I think that most 4-day-a-week training programs still kind of encourage you like on some of the other days to like, if you have access to a pool, go swimming. If you can get on a bike, go for an easy ride for like 30 minutes or an hour. So I think there's a 4-day-a-week training program isn't always a 4-day-a-week of activity. So that's the other way I think about it. Right. Yeah, Remy says, like, if you have the heads-up display, you have the data without ever looking away. You never ever take your eyes off the road. That's true. Yeah, I mean, I would love it. I would love like if I could have it in my contacts. I don't know how that would work, and I think that's really far in the future if we ever get it. I don't know if we'll see that in my lifetime, but like just like a contact lens, I could go, and all of a sudden I pop it in, and all of a sudden I got data. That'd be pretty awesome. I think I would get very good at managing my notifications then, like aggressively turning notifications off on things. But yeah, I mean that's what I would. I mean, I love it. I love it. I think that I would. I mean, I like the novelty of it too. But like, I think that if there were such thing as an implantable, I mean, going beyond wearable technology, but implantable technology, I'm down. I'll try it. I'll be at the tester for that. Carlos Diaz says there's no need for indoor trainers in Cali. That's true. Very true. Stevie76 says, after watching Top Gun, I want to be a fighter pilot. After watching Indiana Jones, I want to be an archaeologist. After watching My Cousin Vinny, I want to be a lawyer. That's funny. That's a good movie. That's a really good one. Danny J says, no athlete cyclist is strapping their phone to their bike. They shave their damn legs for less drag. A phone is like a sail. Well, I suppose that's true. That makes sense. But what about bike computers? So people have bike computers. Isn't it like a similar shape and weight to that? Yeah. Jeff Elliott says, you might have trouble finding a bike trainer due to the pandemic. Stock has been hard to come by. Yeah, I mean, there's been news, like, what is it? Nightly News? The one with Lester Holt. I watch it because, I like Lester Holt. He's a Chicago guy. And side story about Lester Holt. Lester Holt used to be like a local news guy in Chicago when he was a lot younger. And one of the jobs that he had when he was younger was he narrated, or he was like the main like host of the video that you watch when you get jury duty in Chicago. So like in jury duty, they show you this video, like this is a courtroom. This is like the jury room where like potential juries, like when you get to jury duty, you might sit and you might wait, you might get called up, you might not. They're going to ask you a question. And he explains like the whole process. A young Lester Holt is the narrator for that. And he's got a mustache, like a big, thick mustache. It's pretty amazing. But I like Lester Holt. Now, his son is also a like a local newscaster as well. So it's pretty cool. And I think they've both been on TV once before together. It was like they later did like a story about it and they both thought it was pretty special. And I think it's cool. But I like Nightly News, NBC Nightly News. I think that's what it is. And they've been doing a story like every day. They've been doing like a thing on like, what do you need to buy now kind of thing. I don't know if they've been doing it regularly. I've only been started watching it up again lately because they've been putting full episodes on YouTube. And they've been talking about buying like the outdoor heaters, like the kind that like restaurants put on the patios. They've been talking about exercise equipment, like generally. And what else have they been? They haven't been really saying anything like, canned food or like toilet paper or anything like that. But they were saying like exercise equipment definitely is starting to go because everyone's like starting to think about the winter. So maybe I need to get that sooner than later. I don't want to like give up on like winter riding though. And I feel like once I put a bike on the trainer, I'm not going to take it off. So I'm like, but maybe. Because Remy says, I get on Zwift below 40 degrees, but some ride outside all year. So yeah, maybe it's time. Yeah, I'll get one. Rain Runner says, are you going to watch Signs, Kofuzi? That's surely set in Iowa. I've seen Signs before. That's the one with the crop circles, right? That was the beginning of when people were like, I don't know if M. Night Shyamalan's any good anymore. Remember that? Like he was like the man, and then all of a sudden people were like, this formula is getting a little bit stale. And I think that was like the beginning of the downfall. And it says, we mountain bike all year round. Cold weather cycling is good, but windy, wet weather is hard work. We had a week off this week as it was just too wet. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Chris, yeah. I heard Mike Pence was urging the Senate to pass a bill outlawing glute activation. That's funny. I was just reading up today because some of you guys have asked me about like CBD products. So I was like, oh, what's the status of that in like different states? And I'm still not sure. I mean, it still varies between state to state, but I think, most states, it seems like kind of like look the other way in a large part because it's not going to get you high, but it has the cannabidiols in it. So, but anyway, but what I'm really hoping for is, and I didn't know this, but there was potentially up for a vote in the House, the MORE Act, which is basically going to deschedule marijuana, which I think is a good thing. I think it's important on a lot of levels. From like a social justice perspective is the primary reason why I think a lot of people support it. But I think the other thing is that like then, research can be done on it. States can kind of decide. I mean, I feel like from the conservative perspective, then like you let the states decide so if you're into states' rights, you let your state decide whether or not it's going to be legal in your state. And so like, I think it's a pretty cool idea. But they tabled the vote. They didn't decide to put it up to a vote because they wanted to get COVID relief packages through first. But I think that's interesting news. Hopefully that's something that gets picked up after they get some COVID relief out. So that's what I'm hoping. But I think that going back to the Mike Pence comment, I think Mike Pence probably would not endorse the MORE Act. But I think Kamala Harris was like a sponsor of it in the Senate, or one of the co-sponsors. So interesting. Yeah. Simon Evans says it's a true story about him getting the cops called on him. They called the police because 8 men were facing their window, thrusting their crotch at them. Were you guys really? You guys didn't think about that? I mean, you guys didn't decide like maybe we should go, front out like to the street side rather than. But I guess maybe like if there's a house on the other side of the street too, you still either way you're facing your. Yeah. But I mean, like, is that really something you need to call the cops about? I'm not sure about that. Seems a little bit of an overreaction. Yeah. Not really. Hank Aaron says, like, imagine if the police joined in. That'd be funny. Oh, they came. The police actually came, but they found it funny. Did they give you a citation? I'm gonna give you guys a warning this time, but next time keep the thrusts to yourself. Make sure they're fully activated, or don't bother. Like I don't know. It's crazy. Cleo Best says, "What are you watching tomorrow?" We're gonna watch Poltergeist because I want to know how it ends. I'm 48 minutes in, so we'll pick up at the 48-minute mark, not of the movie, but of like the Netflix like video stream. So I'm just gonna try to go to like 48:00, and I'll hit play. I'll tell everyone here I'm hitting play, and we'll just let it run. I'll try to watch something. I have a feeling I'm just going to talk over it the whole time. That's why I try not to like watch TV with other people because I know I do that and I know it's really annoying. But I'm thinking in a live stream format that might work. So we'll see. Nathan Power says, if you had your choice of superpower, what would it be? I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, flying's a pretty good one. That's pretty amazing. I don't think I would like invisibility. I don't think I would really want like super strength because that'd be kind of weird. Because then can you modulate it? Can you can you like pick up a beer regularly if you have super strength? I'm assuming you can. But I think flight would be a pretty fun one. But I would want flight and also like never get cold because I feel like, I get cold running outside. I mean, we've been talking on this live stream about like, it's going to be extra windy on a bike in cold weather. I'm going to bring that inside. So like, I mean, can you imagine if like, yes, I can fly, but it's just so chilly. So I never do it. Like, so I would need kind of like a superpower with like a sidecar flight with never getting cold. That's my answer. Slow Burning J says, do you still recommend the Peg 35 Turbo? I just copped these 3 pair since they're going to be getting harder to get. Hope it's a good shoe. I've always ran an Ultra Boost. I like the Peg 35 Turbo. I think it's a great shoe. If you got 3 pair, hopefully they're like, the sizing was weird on that shoe. Like the first colors that came out were a little bit too snug, and I think they got bigger as time wore on. So like the colors that were released later ended up being a little bit roomier, and that was like the more correct size. I feel like the first ones that came out were like off a little bit. But yeah, I love the Turbo. I like the Turbo 2. But I mean the Turbo 1 and the Turbo 2 had the same midsole, but like I really like the Turbo 1. So that's a good one. Andrea says, hello, everyone. Anyone else had a tiring day? Mine was okay. But, you're in happy hour now. So it's a good time for, a celebratory drink. All right, let's try it. Jay Bendes Jr. says he wants the ability to never roll ankles. That'd be good. Stevie76 says, Genie, I wish for 3 more wishes. That's usually like if Aladdin is any indication. I'm pretty sure all the genies say you can't do that. Remy says, Bruce Banner is a perfect superhero, in my opinion. Yeah, but like, is it? I'm not sure about that. Shannon says, I've decided my superpower would be the ability to never get injured. That would be great, wouldn't it? I mean, yeah. But I mean, like, maybe that wraps into like, but you don't want to be like immortal. Because I just keep thinking about, I've never read like the comic book Hulks, but a friend of mine was really big into them, and he's like, if you ever read the rest of like deep into the Hulk series, he's immortal, so he never dies. So he's like alive like 1 million years from now, and he's deprived of oxygen because like the Earth has exploded or imploded, and he's just floating, sitting on a rock in space, and he will never die. That's kind of like depressing. Yeah. All right. Joseph Supplison says 10K racing shoes. I like the Speed Elite. I like the Meta Racer. I like the Adizero Pro, not the Adios Pro. I haven't tried those yet, but I like the Adizero Pro. Let's see. I'm wondering if I could take the Endorphin Pro. It's a little bit tall for 10K racing, but I think I could do it. I could definitely do the RC Elite. So those would be some good ones that I would race in. Yeah. Steven Gershoff says, we could watch I See Dead People movie and make snarky comments in the chat whenever the conceit becomes evident throughout the film. I mean, I think that'd be kind of fun. I've seen that one though. So like I think like part of the entertainment, I'm hoping part of the entertainment value is that I've never seen some of these movies before, which are movies that everyone else has seen. So it's like so I'm getting a different perspective on it as well. Not even just like understanding how the movie ends, but I don't know. Chris Dyke says, I just saw someone wearing the Meta Racers yesterday. They look nice. I love them. I really want ASICS. Sorry, I just bumped a cable. I really want ASICS to release the Meta Racer in like a yellow, like a Kill Bill yellow. That's what I really want. I mean, it's natural, right? Wouldn't you guys? I think like they need to do that. All right. I think that's a good place to leave it for today. Tomorrow morning, there's not going to be a video. I think I like kind of not having to put a video up on Friday mornings, just because like we're kind of like trying to wrap up the week. I feel like that works. Yeah, Stephen Gerzo said, "Oh, like our Kofuzi reaction videos. Kofuzi reacts to the ending of Poltergeist." Exactly. But tomorrow we'll do a Netflix Friday. We're gonna watch Poltergeist starting at minute 48. If you guys want to like watch it ahead of time and like be reacquainted to it, if you've seen it before, I think that might be good. I'll hold off. I do want to see how it ends, so I want to watch it, but I'm going to wait till tomorrow. We'll try it out. I'm not going to say every Friday we'll do it, but we'll try it and see how it goes. 3 p.m. Central Time, same time as today. hopefully you guys will join. And even if you're not interested in following along in the movie, hopefully, I mean, we'll still talk about all the other stuff that we talk about too. So, I think it'll still be fun, even if you don't want to follow along in the movie. And yeah, I'll see you then. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.